Hey, I'm Jeremy. Welcome back to Rugby Informer. I'm sure the South Africans are pretty happy with the performance from the 4 South African teams in round 3 of the URC. We got 4 from 4. Every South African team managed to pick up a win. The Lions beat Edinburgh and Joburg. The Bulls smashed Ulster and Pretoria. The Sharks just managed to squeak past the Dragons over in Wales. And the Stormers made life very hard for Zebra over in Italy. So 4 from 4 for the South African sides. It's pretty promising. And one of the most notable things probably from this round is that all the South African franchises got their Springboks back. So we thought we'd take a look at the 5 returning Springboks and the biggest impact that they had. Starting off is Damian Willemse. So Willemse got a second start of the season for the Stormers. They went down to Ospreys last week, but he really seemed to get into his groove this week and showed that he's fully recovered from his finger injury that he was dealing with. He looked really, really good in the backfield, playing at fullback, taking high balls, finding touch with his kicks, counter-attacking when it was on. Wasn't too expansive of a game for him. The wingers were having a field day, Leo Linzas and Suleiman Hartenberg, but Willemse looked really, really good. He looked confident again. He was stepping a bit, showing his skills. He picked up a Man of the Match award, managed to do a conversion or 2. He was looking really, really good. So nice to see Willemse back in the mix. There's no doubt he'll be on Russ's radar for that end-of-year tour. And then moving on to the Lions, who had a massive scoreline in the first half before they let Edinburgh slip back into the game. But one of the exciting returns is Edwill van der Merwe. He made his return back on the wing for the Lions. He scored 2 tries, one of which was a classic Edwill van der Merwe try, chasing down a kick, beating a defender and scoring. 4 clean line breaks, 51 meters gained, 2 offloads, and this all came from 8 carries, which is ridiculously impressive for a winger. It just shows that every time Edwill van der Merwe touches the ball, something happens. And on the other side of the ball, he had 100% tackle rate. He wasn't too busy on defense. The Lions were kind of dominating possession throughout the whole game, but Edwill van der Merwe, after his operation and being out of the game for, I think it was 3 months, looking sharp as ever, fast as ever, and hopefully he gets a shot on the end-of-year tour once again. Heading over to the Bulls, Elrigh Louw was immense for the Pretoria side. He scored a try, 10 carries, beat 4 defenders, 45 meters gained. And most importantly, Elrigh Louw seems to work really well with the forwards that are around him. You know, Rowan Nokia, Marco van Staden, Cameron Honeycomb. He just seems to link up really well with the players that are around him. He's got very smart rugby IQ, although he can also be a bit of a bulldozer and smash players when needed. But he looked really, really good. It just shows the Springbok conditioning, how it's taken his game to the next level. And he's definitely putting his hand up for a position in the loose trio, that's for sure. And in the back line for the Bulls, while a lot of the attention was on the youngsters floating around, Willie le Roux was back to his usual tricks. He was incredible at fullback. He was pretty busy on defense and didn't have too much space for himself to run, but I think what people have come to expect from Willie is that high rugby IQ, the vision from him, the ability to put other players into space, and he was doing so with some great passes. He put through an amazing crossfield kick to put to Chamberlain, absolutely perfectly weighted, and Chamberlain ended up passing inside for the try to be scored. You know, great to see Willie just playing really well, despite missing out on a few selections in the Rugby Championship, but he just looked really, really good. And despite a lot of competition in that fullback position for the Springboks now, he's invaluable for the Boks setup, and taking him on the end-of-year tour is probably a good idea from Rassie Erasmus, as Willie's got a lot of experience playing in England with Wasps, and he's always performed really well against his Northern Hemisphere teams. And jumping back into the Bulls forwards, Gerard Steenkamp was really, really good, but we've got to give a little nod to Wilco Louw. He was absolutely obliterating the Ulster scrum. He was really good in the set pieces. He was mauling really well. He adds an incredible amount of power and strength into the set piece. He was tackling well. He was linking up with the other players well. He's just a really, really good player, very dynamic, and an absolute beast for the Bulls at the moment. And another standout performance is that of Andre Esterhuizen for the Sharks. I think without him, they probably would have not got over the gain line at all. He linked up really, really well with Lorenzo Julius in outside center. and he was giving Ethan Hooker, who was playing on the wing, a lot of space. He was just really looking his devastating best again, and on defense, he was stopping any of that Dragons attack that was heading into that far half or inside center channel. He looked really good, and it's a bit disappointing to see Esterhuizen not getting as many shots for the Springboks. I think the last real opportunity Esterhuizen got was when he played and paired with Jordan Hendrickse against Wales earlier in the year, and it was a little bit of a experimental 10-12 combo that didn't really work out. I think they're becoming more familiar with each other now that they're playing at the Sharks together. But during that game, it didn't really click, and I think it made Esterhuizen look less effective than he actually is. But I think when he's running onto the ball at full tilt, it's a very, very difficult and daunting thing to try and stop. And he also offers a lot of deception. He was being used as a decoy runner by the Sharks a few times, and even just that, it stops a lot of the defenders in front of him. So I hope Esterhuizen gets another shot and gets taken along to the Northern Hemisphere for those games. But obviously there were a lot of other Springboks who were floating around doing really well. Rowan Nakia looked really good coming back and captaining the Kurtley Arendse looked sharp on the wing again. Canan Moodie was looking really, really good and basically continuing his great form from the Springboks. But another shout out has to go to Elrigh Louw. Everyone loves the big Viking from South Africa, and he looked as comfortable as ever and slotted right into that Leinster team. He was linking up really well with the backs, with his out the back passes. He was hitting rucks. He was carrying really well, getting offloads, exactly what you expect from Elrigh Louw, and he was adding a lot to their line out, which looked flawless when they were firing on all cylinders. So yeah, great to see Elrigh Louw looking well, playing well, no niggles, and yeah, great debut for him, and hopefully he is, of course, included in the Bok mix. So yeah, those are just some of the players that caught our eye in round 3 of the URC. Which players caught your eye? Were there any returning Springboks who looked really good to you and should be included on the end of your tour once again? Please like, please subscribe, please comment below, let us know what you think. And thanks for checking out the channel and the video, and we'll see you in the next one.